Hi, how is everyone? Hopefully some people will join. I went live again without changing it to public first. I don't know why the automatic setting is set to unlisted instead of public when you're going live on a video. I guess if you want to set it to go live later. Hi, Elizabeth. Welcome. I'm glad you're here. Hello, Robert James. We're going to see who's here, where you're watching from. Let me make sure I have on live chat and not just top chat. Let me change that so I can see all the comments. There we go. I see we've got about 4 people here. Who's with us today? Thank you, Elizabeth. Hello, Micro Farm Starter. Where are you watching from? And if your channel name is different than your first name, sorry, I'm bumbling around the thing. I like to know who's watching, where you're watching from, what your weather's like, and your first name. So if you don't mind sharing that, I would love to hear it. Let me see if I can get the live chat up on my phone, because when I watch it on the iPad, which I'm recording on, it disappears after a few minutes. Hello, Kelly from Kentucky. And thank you, Miss B. Hello, Alexis. All right. Let me close this one. I went live, but I went live like a dummy in unlisted mode. So I had to start it over. So let's see. Let me pull up the live chat over here because it doesn't go away. On the iPad, it pops up and then it disappears. It pops up and disappears. So I'm going to try to use my phone, and I need something to prop it up with because I don't have my tripod with me today. Thanks, you guys, for all of your patience. And I knew what you meant, Rebecca. It's okay. I can usually decipher through typos or talk to text or whatever. So let me see if I can prop that up. All right, Destiny's Little Homestead. Where are you watching from, Destiny? What's your weather like? And why does it go away? I don't want it to go away. I probably have to do it this way, vertically. Let me see if I can do it this way. Hello, Liz. Welcome. I cannot. It wants to do it. I might just have to live with it disappearing. Sorry, you guys are so patient with me every single week. Every single week. All right. So, hello, Sharon. And Christy. And everyone who's here. And as you saw, some people were saying congratulations. So if you did not know, I just crossed over the 5,000 subscriber. I just passed over 5,000 subs. So that's exciting news. It's been a long, slow climb, but I finally got there. All right. And I'm just going to turn this other one off because it's not working the way I want it to. I usually can set it up right here with the tripod, but I don't have the tripod with me. A little bit scattered. So thanks, you guys. Thanks again. Yay. Everybody ready? Let's do a little happy dance. Like the, if you've seen Evan Almighty, is that the one? The, like Noah's Ark one. So, let me just write down a couple things. Tonight, we're not going to have like a specific whole hour-long topic. I have a couple things that I want to bring up, but tonight we're going to do an Ask Me Anything. So you can ask me anything you want to. I reserve the right not to answer if it's too private, but mostly I'll be happy to answer. So make sure you put your question in all caps or put question marks, like 3 or 4 question marks before and after. So that way I can quickly recognize it and pick it out from among the chit chat that goes on. I know lives are a lot of fun to say hello to other viewers and other YouTubers who pop in and out. So feel free to do that, but let me know in either all caps or with question marks so that I can quickly identify questions that are for me. And let's see. Oh, we already have one coming in. Do I miss my old life in California? I Sorry, I was actually laughing at Liz's question, which came in next. So lots of questions coming through, and I'm going to see if I can get the live chat to stay up for a while. Sorry, you guys are going to have to watch me like do that by the camera every few minutes because it disappears. So we got several questions coming in. The first one is, do I miss my old life in California? I do not. I love life in Missouri, rural life, country life so much. It's absolutely unbelievable. And it was kind of a roll of the dice because I had never really lived rural or small town before. And I loved my sunny SoCal life. I loved 75 degrees and sunny year round. I loved having access within an hour, mountains, beaches, desert. It was an enjoyable life to me, but there were things about it that we didn't like. It was overpopulated, it was overtaxed, it was overregulated, and it was just it was a hard life in the sense of managing. It's a very fast-paced life, so it's very different. So I while I did enjoy that, I never really knew how much I would love living in the country. Something else, I have always loved animals since I was a little girl. I didn't know that I would live and die for my animals like I do for my children almost. I didn't realize how much I would love spending time out on the farm, working in the garden, shoveling manure, feeding animals, hanging out with them, watching them grow. I really had no idea about that. So that it so much outweighs all the positive stuff there was in California and has much less of the negative stuff that we had. All right, I'm going to scroll back up and see the other questions that came in. Liz said cats or dogs. Dogs, definitely. I'm definitely a dog person. I do not mind cats. I can hang out with cats, but I'm going to go to dogs every time. All right, let's see. Hello, Jen from Stivers Homestead. Sharon Cook. Oh, you're from here in Missouri. I don't know where York is. I'll look it up later. Heather in Beaumont. I was calling you Alexis, but I see Heather's your first name, so thank you for sharing that. So I lived in Fontana for a while, Fontucky, and then we moved into the Downey Bellflower area. So you know what I'm talking about when I talk about California. And then, all right. Sorry about having to scroll right in front of your face, everyone. All right. Destiny's Homestead is in Ohio. And let's see, I know there was another question. The Fraggle dance works too. I love the Fraggles. Okay, here we are. How is the rabbit area coming along is the next question. And let's see. Hello, Sam. Hello to Family Homestead. Thank you for joining. All right. And the busy little house. Thank you. Okay, so my rabbit area. Some of you are newer to my channel, and so I'll share a little bit at first before I talk about how it's coming along, that I have been wanting meat rabbits since we moved to Missouri. I have been talking about it. I have been saying I'm going to get them, and it wasn't the right time. Chris set a rule for me when we moved, that because I wanted all the animals at once, all the garden things at once, all the orchard at once, and he said I could add one new major project or one type of animal per year. And that turned out to be very wise because I didn't take on more than I could handle, especially since I still work off farm, and so I'm homesteading before and after work and on weekends. So I am this year, for sure, for absolute certain, getting rabbits. And I have a date, drum roll please. I don't want to shake your camera. April I believe it's 6th, whatever that Saturday is, to go get 2 does from Elizabeth, who's on tonight. And she's the one who asked about my rabbit area. So the rabbit area is coming along. I have chosen where it's going to be. The cages are in the process of being built. I have one more step of the cages. I've got the supplies. I need the tarps that I'm going to use, and I have to move the thing. So that's very vague, but there will be a video coming out pretty soon. So be sure to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell. That way you'll know when the rabbitry video comes out. All right. And I am going with, because I assume this is going to be somebody's next question, they're New Zealand's. And Elizabeth, I think they're registered. Is that correct? I decided to go, oh, she might even have a buck for me. That is so exciting. I have decided to go with purebred from known lines, a known lineage, for a couple reasons. When lots of people advertise New Zealand's, like on Craigslist, but a lot of times what you get is a New Zealand mutt, and so they don't grow out as fast as New Zealand's do. So if you're getting a $5 or $10 rabbit, you're probably getting the quality that you pay for. So by paying for a known line of rabbit, a known purebred line, then I'm getting quality, and I'm going in right away knowing that these are going to grow out quicker. You're going to save, you're going to recoup in feed costs what the cost of the rabbit is within, a litter or two. The second reason is because if at some time I choose to sell the rabbits, then I will have quality lines to carry on. And I think that about answers that. I had another thought that came up in the middle of my sentence, but it can wait. All right, let's see if we have any other questions and see who else is here. I saw something that Clueless Homesteader said about you haven't yet found any place that's overtaxed or overregulated. That is true, but some are worse than others. All right. Now, next thing that I wanted to talk about, let's see what we're doing, how we're doing on time, is that the Baker Creek Spring Planting Festival is coming up in May. The dates are May 5th and 6th. It's a Sunday, Monday. It's in Mansfield, Missouri, and that is only about 45 minutes north of where I live, and we are going to host a get-together at our home on Sunday evening for anyone who knows us from YouTube and wants to come just hang out with us. So if you're coming to Baker Creek and you want to come and just sit around our fire pit and hang out with us and maybe some other YouTubers who want to come down, you're welcome to join us. Find me at Baker Creek, and I will have something with directions on it. If you want to come but you can't find me, then you can send me a message on Facebook. I'm easy to find. My email address is in the description. It's not yet of this video, but of all my other videos. My email address is there. You can email me, get a hold of me. We would love to meet you all in person. Yes, to Family Homestead, seriously. We're just going to have a fire pit going outside and just go an hour to a couple hours, however long people want to hang out. We live, it won't be rowdy. It'll be a non-alcoholic event. It will be kid-friendly. If anybody has that cornhole tossing game, I have seen people play it, but I wasn't where I could join the game. It was, I can't explain. Anyway, I really want to play that. Somebody could bring that. We can hang out. It'll be fun. So, let's see. Hello, Claire. And, let's see. All right. I think mostly people are talking to themselves. So tonight, normally I have a topic that I talk about each week, and, they range from homesteading things to personal growth things. But tonight we're just doing an Ask Me Anything session. All right, Elizabeth says, are there any good hotels in Ava or close between the event and my house? There's one hotel in Ava. It's, I think, a Super 8. And I don't know how good it is. There's a hotel in Mansfield that is like Little House Inn, I think. Oh, something else that you might want to do while you're in the area. Laura Ingalls Wilder and Manly Almanzo ended up and lived out the rest of their life in Mansfield, Missouri, which is their homestead is about, I don't know, maybe 5-10 miles from Baker Creek. And there's a museum there, and their house, you can tour their house that they lived in while she wrote the books and until their deaths. It's really interesting. And the museum part of it used to be this little small kind of, one little room walk through, and they've recently redone the museum. It's really nice. I actually enjoy going there myself. Okay, so that's something else you can do in the area. Okay. Two Family Homestead says, what about campgrounds, as we'll be schlepping our camper plus smudge? You can camp at Baker Creek for free. They have a field adjacent to their grounds, but there's no hookups there. There's a couple places in Ava. One of them is the Foxtrotters, like the horse showgrounds. They have hookups. And there was another one. If you want me to find out, you're gonna be at Baker Creek? Okay, so that's good. So if you guys want more information about that, I can try to find out more information before next week's live chat. You can tent camp, you can trailer camp. Last year Farm Alarm brought their schoolie. It's everything. It's rough. It's not, there's no bathrooms. So it's, it's just a field. It's just a field by a creek. And it's exactly like their property is here, the dirt road is here, it's right there. So there you go. Yeah, it's just an open pasture. And there will be YouTubers there camping for sure. Last year, the Awesome Homestead was camping, I think they were planning to, I think they went home. Farm Alarm was there. I'm trying to think who else was camping out. I don't remember. Does the campground typically get filled up during the event? No. If you're speaking of the Baker Creek one, they use the same field. It's a pasture. The campers are down by the creek end, and the people who park at the event are up by the road end, and there's plenty of room for the cars and campers and stuff. Trying to think. Sorry, lost my train of thought. Foxtrotters, I don't know whether they fill up. They're the place with hookups. All right. Let's see. Any other questions about that? Before I move on to the next thing that we can talk about? Let me see if I missed any questions. Sorry, these disappear. I don't have the laptop with me today, so I couldn't pull out the chat. And I normally have my phone set up on a tripod so I can read it, and I don't have that with me either. Just going, just doing what I can do. All right. Okay. Liz says, what happens at the Baker's Creek event? Oh, that's a good question. I guess if you haven't ever been, you might not know. So let's talk about what Baker Creek is. I hope everybody knows, but I would be awful of me to assume that everybody knows. Baker Creek is a seed company. They sell heirloom seeds, and they are located in Mansfield, Missouri. They also have a second location in California, Northern California. From April through October, the first Sunday of every month, they have, I forget what they call it, but there are vendors there who set up and sell perhaps, I know my friend sells tools that they make, their homestead iron. I have another friend there who sells leatherworks. They also have a small little like Western town type of village where they have a stage with music, and they have someone working a blacksmithery shop, and that sort of thing. So they do that every first Sunday of every month. However, they have their big festival, the spring planting festival, and then they have another one in the fall. I don't know what it's called. At the spring planting festival, they will have plants for sale in addition to their seeds in their seed store. So there will be fruit trees and starts, and there will be tons and tons and tons of vendors. There will be live music going on in different places. There will also be a speaker's tent, and I believe the speakers, Kevin and Sarah, are going to be there. Doug and Stacy were there last year. So, sorry, I'm making assumptions again. Kevin and Sarah of Living Traditions, Doug and Stacy of Off Grid with Doug and Stacy. I think Jess from Roots and Refuge is going to be there. Last year, also there in attendance was, yes, thank you. Jessica and Maya are both going to be there. Dirt Patch Heaven was there. Handyman was there. Catherine from Little Bits of Heaven Homestead was there. So, and in addition to that, there's going to be masses of people, like 5,000, 10,000 people. I don't know how many. But lots of YouTubers come. So Filer Farms. So lots of Missouri YouTubers were there last year. And so it's just a nice, for me, it was kind of like a YouTube meetup, because I go to Baker's Creek usually when they're not having the festival. I go on the day off and go in and buy my seeds and get out, because they're open during the week, but the weekend is their big thing. So that's what happens at that event. And rareseeds.com is their website, so you can read more about it and see pictures of it. Also, if you check out Farm Alarm's channel or mine or White House on the Hill, we all did videos about it last year, so you can kind of look and see what it's going to look like. All right, have I missed any other questions? Our Organic Life is here. Hello, thank you for coming. I'm glad you're here tonight. Let's see how we're doing on time. All right, guys, ask me anything. I opened the door for anything. So I may or may not answer. I may say it's too private, but tonight's an Ask Me Anything night. What is my favorite way to start my seeds? In the ground. And that is simply because I, last year was my first year with the greenhouse, and the wind tore it up, and I don't have heat mats, and I don't have an indoor seed starting area yet, and I haven't done much. So actually my favorite way is to buy plants and just plant them in the ground. However, that's a more expensive way. So this year I found that whole bag of seeds in my desk that I told you guys about, those 2 Walmart bags full. So I'm going to go through those and hopefully get some planted. I would like to rebuild my greenhouse differently. I have also thought about doing, what do they call those things? I know you guys know, that are like short, cold frames with the window on top, something like that. So that's the hope and the plan. But this year, starting with seeds. I saw your pictures of your peas on Instagram today. Okay, so I do have a little bit other news. Other than homesteading and ASL and stuff we know you love, what are you passionate about? I'm gonna let that kind of think in the back of my mind, and then I'll come back to it. Hello, Johnson Family Farmstead, Jen and Zach or Jake. I know there's 2 Jens, and one is Jen and Jake, and one is Jen and Zach. And I'm sorry, I've forgotten which one you are, Johnson Family Farmstead. Glad you are here. So help me out. I think I'm gonna guess again, Jen and Jake. Is that right? What am I passionate about? Hey, woohoo! I got it right. All right. Hello, Half Acre Dreams. Welcome. So, Mama Grows, what am I passionate about? I talk to her pretty regularly. Kathleen, help me out with that question. While Kathleen and Liz and I are thinking about that, let me just say a couple of announcements now that we have a couple more people in the house. So for those of you who don't know, I passed the 5,000 subscriber mark today. So everybody do a little cheer dance with me. I hope you're all doing it. Otherwise, I feel quite silly just doing that by myself. And I also announced that at the Baker Creek Spring Planting Festival, which is May, what is it, guys? 6th and 7th, 7th and 8th, 5th and 6th, something like that. Whatever that Sunday and Monday, the first one in May. The Sunday night after they close that evening, we're going to have a fire pit gathering at our house. For you guys that know us, you're welcome to come. So find me at Baker Creek and I will give you directions, or message me or email me, and I'll make sure that you are able to get there. It is far. I'm lovely. Liz says I'm passionate about macaroni and cheese. I could eat a whole box of it, but I was really just showing you because I know just now how unhealthy that is. The box, the cheese, the powdered cheese stuff, and you guys don't have that there. Oh, yeah. Kathleen says, I love to give advice. She tells me her problems and I help her work through them. I actually do that. I do that. Okay. So something else that I want to talk about tonight is last weekend, my family spent the weekend with my in-laws at the cabin in the woods. We have a playlist up. I think it's called Papa's Pioneer Log Cabin or Pioneer Log Cabin Build or Log Cabin Build or something like that. And we have shown you throughout the last 3 years the stages of him building this cabin in the woods. He retired from ministry in California, moved back to Oklahoma to the farm where he grew up, and has cut down trees from his own farm, dragged them with his SUV, hammered in spikes, and built this cabin in the woods at the age of 70. It is amazing. It is beautiful. It's gorgeous. And this last weekend when we were there, I sat down with my in-laws and I had them tell me the story of the cabin in the woods, how they did it, why they did it, all of that. And I filmed as much as I could inside, outside the cabin to really give the story of it. It's an amazing, amazing story. I am hopeful that video will be out this Saturday. I got to work on editing tomorrow. And I really want you all to watch for that. It's going to be, hopefully I can put together in film the beauty of it and the beauty of the story as well as the cabin. It's really nice. And a couple people got a little sneak peek. Liz and Kathleen got a little sneak peek of it, and they can tell you I'm not lying. It's an amazing place. So I want to share that with you as well. All right, guys, what else? Ask me anything. So what am I passionate about? I am passionate about people. I really feel that it's important that we listen to one another, that we invest in one another, and at the same time, I am not the kind of friend that is gonna be available to talk, every day, or some people drain me. They drain my energy, and it's hard for me. So there are some friends who are really good gift givers, or really good at knowing what you need before you need it, and I'm not that kind of a friend. But I am loyal to a fault, and I really like it. And I love coming together on Wednesdays and sharing my story with you and the things that I'm learning about personal growth. I'm passionate about learning and growing as in every aspect of my life as an interpreter. The reason I'm going to be in Arkansas the weekend in April so I can get the rabbits from Elizabeth is because I'm going to an interpreting workshop that is about interpreting police interrogations. So I've been working on my interpreting in legal situations. I interpret in court a lot here, and so I've been working on that. So last year I did one about interpreting depositions. It was 3 days. It was really long, really like makes your brain hurt type work, but really fun. I love learning about homesteading and animal husbandry and gardening, and I love growing as a person. So I've been doing a lot of research about personal growth and really bringing out the best within me. And all of that I like to sit down and share with you guys. It's really fun. And Wednesday nights for me have been great. I was kind of nervous about what am I going to talk about for a whole hour? How am I going to get on here and keep this conversation going? But when we've been talking about how we make friends and our 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and all of that, that really energizes me, and I'm excited about that a lot. And I saw Wendy joined while I was talking. Thanks. I'm glad you made it before it ended. Woohoo! Oh, thank you for saying I'm down to earth. I appreciate that. I try to be. It is one of my goals, and I see Heather has a question. I'll get to that in a second. Let's see. All right, one more and another question there. Okay, I see Sharon's question, so I'll answer that. Thank you, Liz, for bringing that to my attention. Okay, so lost my train of thought. I saw a couple things. So we'll start with Sharon's question. Do my husband and I ride motorcycles? We do not now. We both had motorcycle endorsement on our licenses in California. He owned a motorcycle that he used for commuting to work sometimes. And I also had a motorcycle endorsement because I rode like a little Honda scooter, but we no longer ride, either one of us. All right. Language. Liz says, I am passionate about language. I am. Language fascinates me, and where words come from and what they mean and how they're used very much. Oh, no. I accidentally clicked on somebody and it's asking me if I want to report them. I do not. All right. Miss B, Rebecca, that's one of the kindest things somebody has said about me, calling me kindred spirit. That's lovely. Let's see. Okay. All right, Claire, you and me, sister friend. All right. So, let's talk Christy, and those of you who were here last week who've been doing the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and action. So last week, we'll catch you up. For those of you who weren't here, Mel Robbins is a motivational speaker, personal growth type person. She has a YouTube channel, MEL1L Robbins, Robbins. Feel free to look her up. And last week I talked about how her 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 method of reframing your mind, resetting it when you are anxious, or lots of different ways you can use it. So you will look at her. I went into more depth on it, so you can look back at last week's live chat and check that out. But definitely follow up with her. But we talked about how we were going to, some of us were going to reset our minds using the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And for me, I'm really wanting to crush the morning. Crush your morning, crush the day. The more things I watch, I learn that if you can, your first hour of the day sets the tone for the rest of the day, right? So I don't know if you guys watch much about morning routines, or like the routines of the rich and famous, or those kind of things. I love to listen to motivational and personal growth stuff while I'm driving, because I'm going to watch the homesteading YouTube stuff when I can actually look at the screen and see what you're doing. So I listen to a lot of motivational things when I'm driving. So for me, it was going to be 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, get out of bed. No snoozing. Alarm goes off. Feel like hitting the snooze. you say 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The reason you count backwards and sometimes doing it out loud is because it moves your thinking from the back of your head, your instinctual, habitual, what you do, up to your frontal cortex, which is your thinking, and it triggers your brain that you're doing something that your brain needs to think about and not just react, right? So feel like gonna hit the snooze. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then get out of bed, action step. You can also use a, I forget what she called the kind of thought, but like a grounding thought. So if you're using it not for changing a behavior, but for changing an emotion. So let's say you have anxiety about something, and that's public speaking. And every time you think about public speaking, you get nervous, and what you do is you're going to picture yourself how you're going to feel after you have given that presentation to your boss, and your coworker comes up to you and says, you know, that was great, loved it, right? So you kind of put that mental image. So you go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, that mental image, and then you tell yourself, I'm so excited to be able to share this with my colleagues, right? And it reframes your brain and gets you going. So some of us talked about doing it. So mine was to get up out of bed and start my day without hitting the snooze. So some of you that were here last week, what were you going to use it for? And I see Brenda asked a question. Oh, it got answered. All right. Thank you, Liz, for encouraging everybody to thumbs up. So Christy, I remember somebody that was here last week was going to use it for the way they reacted to their children. Anybody else here want to share what they were going to use it for? And then I'll tell you how it worked or did not work for me. All right, chores. Oh, how did it work for you, Rebecca? And Christy was to get her mind off past bad events. That's excellent. That's fantastic. That's a good use of that skill. All right. So I went, hello, Anne. Thank you for joining. All right. So here is my typical morning. My work schedule as an interpreter varies because I might be in court, I might be at a school, I might have to drive to another city over. So the time I have to leave my house varies every day. So if I don't have to leave my house until 7:38, then I normally wake up on my own. But once I wake up, I kind of just coast along in bed. I sit there and I think about the day, and I think about how cold it is outside the bed and how cozy it is in the bed, and I might hit the snooze usually once, maybe twice. I might even reset the alarm because I go, you know what? I really don't need to shower today. I can maybe sleep an extra half hour, right? But studies have shown that people who do that, they're self-sabotaging their whole day, because then the first thing you've done for the day is procrastinate. The first thing you've done for the day is not a success. You've already failed at getting up. Another reason is because if you wake up and then go back to sleep, your natural sleep cycles are like 60 to 90 minutes. But if you interrupt that 10 minutes later, you're actually going to be more tired than if you got up when you were awake. So it really makes you more sluggish. Whereas if you can learn to wake up naturally, you'll wake up at the end of a sleep cycle. And if you get up and you don't doze back off, you will have more energy. And then your mind is saying, yes, I already conquered the first thing of the day. And so that was my goal for the week. So, how did I do at it? Not so great. So my goal was to say, alarm goes off, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, sit up and get out of bed. Well, this weekend we went to the cabin in the woods and everybody else was still sleeping. I didn't actually set my alarm, I just would wake up and everyone else was still in bed. And I had to be quiet because we had dogs and their dog, and if I got up and the dogs would start moving around, I'd be like on the floor, and it would just be like this huge mess. And so I just kind of had to lay there in bed. So I would like go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm awake. It's gonna be a great day. And then I'd lay there and be like looking at the ceiling and just like, is it time? Is somebody else finally gonna get up? Until I had to go to the restroom, and then I would finally get up and it would wake other people up. Let's see. There was something else. There's something else about getting up too. Oh, so another thing that I like to do is at night, I like to have an evening routine so that I don't wake up to a sloppy house. Because if I get up in the morning and there's still something up from last night, then I am like, ugh, and I feel like I have to clean it up before I can start my day. So my goal was to 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, get out of bed, get going, have a clean house, sit down and work. And then you can get so much more accomplished. When I just lay there in bed and I'm like, lay in bed, look around a while, or I get on my phone and check my social media. I mean, before I know it, sometimes if I don't have to get up, I've been in bed 45 minutes or an hour. That is a bunch of wasted time that I could use to be productive early in the morning. So that was not as much of a win as I wanted it to be. So the weekend was like that. Then Tuesday I worked and I had to get up freakishly early, and I snoozed. And then today, what happened today? I snoozed again. So no, I was not successful at it. Oh, Danny says she's having a hard time hearing me. Let me see if I can just scoot it closer. I'm probably sitting farther away than I normally am. How's that? I normally sit kind of close. I hope that helps. Hello, Karen. Good to see you. Let's see. Danny, let me know if you can hear me any better. All right. Hamilton Farm said that's better. Christy says she wakes up at 3 a.m. Oh, that would be hard for me. Let's see. Yeah, Rebecca says she put her alarm across the room so that she would get up. Elizabeth says, I'm sure I've not slept more than 2 to 3 hours at a time. My kids wake me up all night long, then get up at 5:30. It's harder when you have little ones, but it's a season and they will get bigger and they will sleep through the night. I know. Mine used to crawl in bed with me till they were about 5. Good night, Liz. Thanks for joining us tonight. Thanks for being here. Karen says she wakes up on her own 5:30 a.m. every morning. That is nice. Very nice. All right. So let's kind of go back over. Let's see what time we're at. We're at 6 o'clock. We have about 15 minutes left. So I'm going to go through my 4 pieces of news in case you missed it. Oh, the music in the background is because I am at church and I do not have enough internet at my house to do a live upload. It takes me overnight to upload a video, and because we come to church on Wednesday nights, they let me come in the nursery, and that's where I am and do my lives. And so that is the youth worship band out there practicing. Yeah, I know. I'm so used to it that I don't even hear it until somebody comments about it. All right, so I had 4 pieces of things to talk about. The first one was, yay me, I hit 5,000 subs today, and I'm really excited about that. Let's see. Oh, cool, Hamilton Farm. What are your first names? I went back and tried to find it last week in my notes, and I couldn't find, like, I have that you were here, and I have a check mark because I'm subscribed to you. See right there? But I didn't see your first name. Hank and Gina. Okay, I'm going to write that down. Okay. I like to know everybody's name, then I feel like I'm talking to people and not to, faceless farms. It's taken me a long time, our organic life. It has been 5 years. I've been doing this almost 5 years. I'm coming on 6 years, 5.5 years. So it has been. All right. Hey, Tiffany. Good. Thank you. So that was the first piece of news. The second piece of news that I shared was that at the Baker Creek Spring Planting Festival, which is the first Sunday and Monday in May, I live about 45 minutes south of there. And so at the end of the first day, my husband and I are going to host a fire pit hangout time, a gathering for anybody who wants to come over and just hang out with us for a little while. So find me at Baker Creek, and I will have something to give you directions. If you don't find me, you can message me on Facebook or email me. My email address is not in the description of this video yet, but it will be, and it's in all my other descriptions, so you can contact me. And that's in May. The third thing was my video that's coming out this weekend on the cabin in the woods and the story of my in-laws and how at 70 years old my father-in-law has built this amazing cabin by hand. My father-in-law and mother-in-law, I should say both of them. I saw a Hobbit farm too. What was it actually supposed to be? I want to come back up here. Our channel is a Hobbit farm channel. Oh, maybe Hobby Farm? Is that what it was? I read Hobbit also. That was hilarious. I thought maybe they just meant small or something. Brenda says, if I did 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, I would set the goal as move in the morning, some sort of exercise, even if only minutes. I'm a slug. Brenda, I have also started, I'm about 3 weeks in now. I do a YouTube video called like morning yoga stretch for beginners or something like that. And it's 10 minutes, 10-minute morning yoga for beginners, something like that. The channel name is Sarah Beth Yoga. It's amazing how much that kicks my booty. It's like, I feel like I've done a workout. I'm so bad out of shape, but it really is loosening up my joints. I have tight hips and shoulders, and it's really helping, and it's doable, and it's only 10 minutes, and I have done that almost every morning. I've been pretty consistent with it. I'm gonna maybe start adding in an evening one as well. Let's see. Bye City Homestead, thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it. Let's see. All right. And then, bye Miss B, thanks for stopping by. I have never done yoga before, but I really need the stretching. My joints are all getting achy and creaky, and my hips were getting to the point where in the night I would wake up with them hurting before I started stretching them out last year. So I started last year just doing some simple joint, like hip loosening stretches that I found online. And then recently I started doing this yoga, and it's really an all body one. Bye Elizabeth, thanks for joining. We're getting down near the end. And then the other thing that I talked about tonight was the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Where are we? What time is it? So, thank you, Brenda. Let's see, we have about 10 minutes left. And tonight has been an Ask Me Anything question. So if anybody has any more questions for me, I see a lot of people have to hop off now and go do other things, which is perfectly fine. That means we're a more intimate group. So those of you who are left, what do you want to know about me? I'm pretty willing to share a lot of stuff. If it is too personal, I might not share it, but you can always ask. Are only the quiet people left? Is that what happened? Mama Grows asks, how much has your house cost so far? I love the debt-free house building. Okay, Roughly, I think right around 100,000 so far. The big expenses were concrete. There's like, because we have a storm shelter out of concrete, and the foundation and the pad and all that. Concrete was big. The shell of the house was big, putting up the wood and the metal. The air conditioning system, we have a mini split heat and air, and that was in the teens for thousands. We have the insulation was another big one. But let's see, what else? I'm trying to think. The wood stove install wasn't too bad. We got it in the off season. We got it in summer when it was hot, so it was a little bit easier to get. It was cheaper. We could negotiate. The plumbing, electric. So we did it like in phases. We did little by little by little, and now we're working on drywall. And we have a drywaller guy who that is his job. During the week, he works doing drywall for a company. And on the weekend, he comes and works for us for $10 an hour, and we just buy the supplies. And I think that's amazing. And he'll just do it as we have the money, a little bit at a time. Whereas if we bought a drywall, if we hired somebody to come drywall it all at once, it would be a big expense. But we're doing it room by room as we have the money. The appliances were another big thing. So we just save up and do the next thing, and save up and do the next thing. And Wendy, I believe, asked if I was a born again Christian. Yes, ma'am, I am, and I'm also in leadership at my church. And my husband's family is like 3 generations of ministry, and my family, my parents were in ministry. I have a Bible college degree. Thank you, Brenda, for all your yays on my news. Yeah, HVAC and plumbing were both pretty expensive. Hamilton Farm said they built theirs in 22 months. Our one big thing that we would do differently is our house is big. It's over 3,000 square feet, and which includes a big garage and a big shop and the storm shelter. And a little place above the garage that we had intended originally just to be like floor only, an unfinished space for storage. But then we decided to move in there while we were working on the rest of the house. So we actually drywalled that in, and all 4 of us lived in that one room for a while. I have a series of videos on the house build on my playlist. I have a playlist on the channel, so you can check that out if you want to see like week by week. And then it turned into, month by month. It's been a rather long project. We are about 4 years into it and not finished because we built so big. We have a barn style house with metal siding, and in California we lived in a small house, and Chris is big. He's 6'6", and he wears a size 5 XLT, so a 5X plus tall. So he's big, and in California he was bumping into doors and bending over to take a shower, and the sink felt like it was at his knees. And so we wanted a house with plenty of room. And also, this is what we call our forever home, our 100-year home. We are building it strong to last and big enough to house us and our children and grandchildren when they come to visit. And we don't have grandchildren yet, but that's why it's our 100-year house, that they will be able to inherit it. And hopefully nobody will have to do repairs for 100 years. We're trying to build it sound and strong. But looking back, we would have built smaller so that we could be done, because we're not. We are not. Let's see. Sorry. Let's see. I saw some comments and they are gone. Let's see. I love the fact that you can make it to foot, y'all. What does that say, Hamilton Farm? Fit. Oh, to fit, y'all. Yeah, That's what we are doing. What does kid number 2 think she might want to do with her life? I like hearing about kid number 1. Kid number 2 is getting ready to graduate high school. She has been accepted to Missouri S&T, which is a science and technology program, and it's actually a pretty good one. She wants to build rockets for NASA or SpaceX. She's going to be an aerospace engineer. That is her plan. So she's a little smarty pants. Actually, both my kids are smarty pants. They got it from their mom. Hi, Jay. Thanks for coming. I usually send out a announcement, and I forgot to today, so that might be why. So we have a friend who Chris went to high school with who is an aerospace engineer who has helped design and test different kinds of really fancy airplanes. And so I called him when I found out that she'd already been accepted to Missouri S&T, and I called him and said, is there a better program that she needs to apply to? And he said, not really. They have a really great program there, and it's in-state tuition, and she's got some scholarships, so that helps a lot. We have tossed around an idea about creating a family compound. Can you recommend it in general terms? Yeah. So, I think if it's going to be multi-family, like non-related to you, so like your family plus another family plus another family, I think that can lend to some governmental issues. And I don't mean like the federal government of the United States. I mean who gets to make decisions about the land and that kind of thing. So I think that can be sticky. If you're talking about your extended family, like your family and your kids' family and your aunt and uncle, I think that can be done very successfully. I know we live on my mom's property and we built a house, so we will always have family unless she passes away and we rent out her house to strangers. But my kids are welcome to live in that home when they grow up, and I think we could live with Chris's parents very easily and all live on the same property and get along. So I would say it would depend on a couple of things. It would depend on how well you get along with the families that you want to let live on your property. And I also think it would be if if there's a real clear plan as to who makes decisions and who is responsible for what. So I know when we first moved in with my mom, there would be some misunderstandings. Like I would think she told me, ABC, and she would think that she told me 1, 2, 3, and so there was some conflict with that. But those have lessened over the years, and there was a point where my brother, who lives in Washington, was like, look, when you guys agree on anything, just email me a copy of it. That way we all have it in writing, and then later if there's a dispute about who said what, then it could and then it settles itself because you have it in writing. Sorry, totally lost my train of thought in the middle of the sentence. So we lived upstairs, but it was just myself, my husband, and my 2 girls, and we lived there until we had a bedroom for the girls, and then they moved out. So we no longer live in one small room. We now live, we all have our own rooms. My husband and I share a room still, but the girls each have a room that they sleep in. And we don't all have finished walls in every room, but we have plenty of space now. That was just a temporary living situation. Heather says, was it hard to adjust to the weather in Missouri coming from Cali weather? Yes. Yes, it was. But my husband was wise, and he made me buy a really good thick winter coat with feather and filled with down, I should say, not feathers, and that it had to be a certain length, and it had to have a hood, and he made me get really good winter muck boots and all that kind of stuff, so that I would be properly clothed. Wool socks. He made me get wool socks and things, and that helped. But now that I've been here 6 years, I'm acclimated, and like today it's 50 degrees, and I'm just wearing a light hoodie. Um, whereas in California at 50 degrees, I was freezing. So it did take me a while to adjust, but I am now. Jay, you have to share with your husband, huh? That's awesome. All right, it is about time for me to log off, guys. I've really enjoyed chatting with you tonight. Thank you for sharing my news with me and being excited with me. And I hope to meet many of you at Baker Creek in May, and would love to hang out with you some more. And oh, Jay, so I'll tell you quickly. The news was I hit 5,000 subs today, so that was very exciting. And that was the first one. Second one is this weekend I have a video coming out about the cabin in the woods that my in-laws have built. And the third one was about the Baker Creek gathering that I'm hosting a fire pit hangout time at my house on Sunday evening between the Sunday and Monday Baker Creek thing. And then the last one was just going over last week's the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and how that worked or didn't work for us. So that was it. So thank you all so much for joining me. Thank you to my moderators who always do such a wonderful job. I appreciate all you guys do. Thank you all for being here. And oh, I have another piece of news that I forgot to share. So only you last 9 people are going to hear this. But I'm adding another video to my weekly lineup. So I will have Monday evening videos, Wednesday lives, and Saturday evening videos. So there will now be 2 edited videos a week and my live on Wednesdays. So you can look for that coming next Monday as well. Thank you guys. Have a good night. I'll let y'all say goodbye and then I will end the chat.